Hey, and welcome back to Crazy Gamer Models. How's it going? There's a little glare on the box. Sorry about that. This time we're going to do a review of the SturmTiger. It is basically a Tiger 1 chassis with a mortar on it. It is a pretty nice kit. It's from RFM Models. This has a full interior. As you guys probably are aware, I love my full interiors. This is 1/35 scale, and it is kit number RM5012. New camera setup. If you watched one of my previous reviews, this is a little bit different. This is a CAD render drawing of the kit. You see some Photo-Etch on there, and you can see the ammunition, which is quite large, and the top of it, nice little boom arm to load the ammo. That, and we have nothing that's there, and then we have three different camo schemes right here. We have this nice scheme, a nice plain Dunkelgelb, and then we have a tritone camo there. I actually have a stenciling kit for this color, for this style, that I'm going to try out on this. It's from Alliance Model Works. It's right here. So it's designed for the SturmTiger, also the Berg Panzer III. So I'm going to try to get that markings on there. So let's see here. Let's take a look what's inside. Nothing on the back. It is going to be a full box. I can guarantee you that. It is a full box piled to the top. So let's take a look at these sprues. I want to take them out of the bag and show these to you. Okay, so I'm going to try to get in here closer. Try to anyways. So you can see these better. So this is what we have here. Okay, let's try that. So this is the H sprue, and it's from one of their Tiger 1 kits. And as you can see here, we have some engine pieces, some radiator fans, engine or engine mount. This appears to be the transmission cover with some radios already built in on it, possibly. Thinking that's what that could be. Now, like I said, this is from a Tiger 1 sprue, and I've noticed that a lot of these parts are replaced on the SturmTiger sprues. So, but as you can see on this round part here, there's very little flash on these round sections. Hardly any mold seams or anything on it. So, looks good on that end. All the ejector pins look like they're on spots that will be hidden. So, that's always good. As I said, now that sprue, if you are familiar with their Tiger 1, that would be one of their sprues from their Tiger 1. As is this one. And there's two different color plastic sprues in here. There's these grays, and then there's a yellow. So let's take a look here. This looks like transmission pieces. Take a good look at it here. And now here's that radio on here. So I'm thinking that last one was not a compartment for the radio. We have a bulkhead that I'm sure is not going to be used. This drive shaft. More transmission pieces. And you can see there's a little bit of seam line there, but not too bad. These boxes look good. Little pieces. So we have a Machine gun down here. Another little drive arm. So, as I mentioned, this is a Tiger 1 sprue, so a lot of these parts are not going to be used on the SturmTiger. A friend of mine sent this to me knowing I like Panthers and King Tigers, mostly because of their hull layout. And he's like, oh, isn't this the same thing? And I'm like, no, it's a Tiger 1. It's a Tiger 1 chassis, but it's fine. I'll still do something with it. So I appreciate it. He wanted to see what was in the box. So here we go. Now, here's some already repeated pieces on this Tiger 1 sprue. And I see a turret ring and a turret floor that definitely will be used. Another engine bracket, another engine pieces, some more engine. So, really gonna have to pay attention to the instructions and see what parts we're using. This looks like a lot of extra pieces for the scrap bin, not the scrap, but the parts bin. So, might actually have a whole second engine. Could build up separately and just display it. I've been wanting to take one of my Panther kits that I've reviewed previously, or not reviewed, but looked at, and just build everything separately and put it on a floor like an assembly floor where they would be made. Alright, so this is an actual SturmTiger sprue, and it is Sprue A. So this is the stuff that's going to be used. And I'm already seeing some nice texture on this mantlet cover here. If you can see that. I'm going to adjust these lights real quick. Let's see if that helps a little bit. Yeah, that helps a little bit better. So, there's a little bit of glare, but there's some nice texture on these pieces here. Also, these pieces here, it looks more like a 3D printed texture in lines, but I'm not sure about that. Nice detail on these fenders here. Look at you can see the hinges in full detail. Nice mounting here. Look like they're molded well. We got nice wood texture on this block. Well, look at this engine cover. You can see the cast texture is very well defined and very nice. Same on the other side of these other pieces. So, these look like radios, individual radios. This would be a nice kit to do assembly line side with the individual radios. So, there's some more cast texture on the machine gun ball mount cover. So, like I said, this is the A sprue. And like I said, I know this kit is already been looked at. I believe Squadron TV, or the Squadron company and stuff, have done a quick review of this video. But my friend wanted me to do it to look what was inside. And also, I don't have a large storage spot for videos, and I like to use these as references for when I build the model if I'm missing a piece, or I can see if it got damaged in the build process opposed to how it came from the actual factory. And then it also allows me to document any damage from the factory. So here's a C sprue. This is a SturmTiger sprue. It looks like the tips of the ammunition, the mortars, and you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 14 rounds of ammunition, which is extremely low for a tank or a mortar. Have to be resupplied very often. A bunch of little grab handles. I don't know how well they would clean up. Very tiny pieces here. Nice through hole done on those. I said the flash on this is minimum. I mean, I'm not seeing very many parting lines. All in all, it looks like a pretty good kit. And we have the F Sprue, which is a Tiger 1 sprue, not a SturmTiger sprue. So we have some side skirts and these little details here, which I can never remember what they are. Some exhaust covers, some tow cables, some very small levers, sprockets, the nice mount on the teeth of the sprocket for easy cleanup. Nice weld texture, nice weld bead right there. Let's take a look at the other side. You see ejector pins, but these possibly could all be hidden. Nice texture on the inside of this, or detail. So, yeah, it's very useful to have a reference of what all the sprues look like before you tear them all apart. I find so anyways. And there are other reviews and channels that show it to you, but, you know, like my own record. This is the D sprue, and it is also a Tiger 1 sprue. Some more drive sprockets with the sprue gates on the teeth. We have our torsion bar system with the suspension arms attached. I'm not seeing any kind of flash or anything on those. Wow, look at these wing nuts. Look at the detail on that. That is, wow, that is good. And there's even little claps for the tools. Oh, nice S-hook. I tell you, they do go on detail-wise on these Ryefield model kits. I am highly impressed every time I open one. I'm currently in my building technique series. I'm building the Ryefield Tiger 1 with the clear parts, mainly because it shows a lot of different techniques working with clear parts and whatnot. But it's not getting painted or anything. It's just I'm just building it. I have people that like me just to build the models, and then I have people that like the painted models. So this is another Tiger 1 sprue. It is the O sprue. It has our jerry cans on it with actual wording that you can read molded into the jerry cans. Only 3 of them, but still, the cap looked nice. The jack is nicely detailed. It's nice. They give you the shovel with, or the tools without the clamps and with the clamps. But even with the clamps, most of this area right here is a solid blob of plastic that's molded with a hole in it. They're all like that. I mean, it still looks blocky, but it's a better effort than what, say, Tacom does or other kits do with their molded plastic tool clamps. I think these still look very good. You know, if you so choose want to use these tool clamps. I believe there might be Photo-Etch, but you can buy aftermarket 1/35th scale tool clamps from. I recommend the Alliance Model Works. They're workable, and they come. They're Photo-Etch, and they're ready cut, so there's no frets to. You don't have to cut them off the fret; they're already cut off the fret and cleaned up. And then we have another Tiger 1 sprue, and it's the wheels. So if you know anything, Tigers love their wheels. Another drive sprocket, so it's the third or fourth drive sprocket. So go look at that. There is a lot of parts in one of these Ryefield model kits. I wouldn't recommend them for a beginner. Honestly, I wouldn't wreck a full interior for a beginner from anybody, because they're tough. But if you built models before and you're looking for a full interior, I have some reviews of good kits for that. This is the lower hull. It is a bath tile style hull with some front plates on it. Let's check out this weld texture. Very nice welding there. Take a nice oil wash. Scallop joints here. Detail's very nice. I mean, I think so far, detail-wise, I think they've done an incredible job. I have to see if these ejector pins in the bottom would show up after it's built. Let's take a look at the upper hull here. Wow, the texture on this. I hope this is showing up here. There is a nice texture on this whole thing, like a hammered steel. I don't know if that with imperfections and flaws. Wow. And then there's a little bit of sprue. Even this vent cover has some nice casting texture on it. And as you can imagine, this is a SturmTiger sprue. Inside looks good. Nothing really to report there. We'll put the tracks over there and we'll talk about them last. Okay, so here is the ammunition. Like I said, you get 14 shells. They're nicely molded. Nice detail on the back. So, no seam. Sorry about that. Well, that's just not going to shut off, is it? There we go. Sorry about that. And so they look like they're slide molded. There's no seams of any kind on these at all. So I think that would be slide molded. You have to correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I would think a slide molding technique would work for that. Could be a two-piece mold. Alright, so it's that. And then we have this sprue, which is a SturmTiger sprue. This looks like it's going to get your engine compartment walls, your mortar barrel. Nice texture, nice cast texture on either one of these. Nice flooring texture with like a more of a diamond pattern. I have to see what was used back then. Your engine compartment bulkheads, another shovel. Nothing to report on the back side. That was the L sprue. And then we have this little sprue here, which is the E sprue. There's not much on it. So we have oh, this is the rear. This is the rear panel. It's got some molding on it, weld seams on it. Nice detail. little bit of detail, ejector pins, I don't know how they'll show up, and some little pieces of randomness on this sprue. We're going to talk about the tracks at the end because it's a thing. Here are some clear parts and the Photo-Etch. So here are the clear parts. So we'll go ahead and take these out. And as you can see, they're already scratched there and there, but I'm not concerned about that too much. I can get that scratch out if it's on the top or the bottom. I'm actually going to have a video on getting scratches out of these clear parts like this. So they are very clear though, but even the clear parted Tiger kit that I'm building had scratches on the parts. So I don't know why I never took it out of the package. It just, I guess, loading it in the package. There's a steel piece of, or not steel, copper wire, pretty firm copper wire inside there. Could have been what scratched the clear part. Who knows? And then here we have some poly caps and some decals. You can see it's got all your ammo markings, some crosses, and some instrument gauges. They are by Cardiograph, which is pretty nice. 2017, so 2017 kit. And then we have some fantastic Photo-Etch. I am a Photo-Etch fan. I don't care how difficult it is, I like it. So we have all this little goodness here, little brackets with wing nuts, mesh for the driver's seat, little brackets for the tool clamps, tool clamp brackets. So, and then we have a even larger section. These are your cross members for the floor of the tank, and you have your meshes, some more of these brackets with wing nuts, little bitty bolt heads appears, nice little piece of diamond plate, and some little bitty wing nuts, which are awesome. So some people would say that's overkill for Photo-Etch. Some people say it was not enough. I'm happy with any kind of detail. I am a huge fan of Photo-Etch tool clamps and highly detailed tool clamps. That's like my biggest thing that I like the most, is when the tool clamps around the tools look very nice. Alright, it's track time. First we're going to look at the tracks. They come in this nice box, which I'll probably never get them back in, so I'm just going to slide it a little bit to show you. This is the track pieces right there like that. Actually, I'm going to clip that off so you can see it better. Just tuck it back in there, because then it'll never go back in the box. So right there, there's what it looks like. It's got two holes there, 2 holes there. You'll see what that's for in a moment. But basically, that's your track pieces. A little bit of cleanup. You'll have 4 connection points to clean up. No ejector pins. None of that stuff. So that would be the tracks. It is nice they come in this box. I will say that. Sit down and spend a day doing tracks. Now, here is your end sprue, and these are from a Tiger 1. Okay, so right here you have track pins. These are guide horns. These are what go into the 4 little holes of the track. So each track gets 2 guide horns. There is a jig. So there's 4 of these, so you get 4 pieces of the jig that clip together. And then these are all your track pins. So what you can do is, instead of cutting each little track pin off and losing it, you cut off this whole section and you slide it in here like this, and you can do 4 at a time. And also with the guide horns, you cut it up here. You cut this part off here, so you use this sprue as a handle. Then after it's set, you can cut it off right there and then do minimal cleanup. So that is tracks covered. Now, these are very similar to the tracks in my Tiger 1 build, so when it's time for the tracks in that, I'll do a video specific to doing these tracks with the individual guide horns and track pins. A lot of people don't like tracks like that. I enjoy it. I'm used to Tacom's tracks where you have to glue the guide horns on, and it's length and length tracks. So some of them are pre-built in lengths and pieces. So here we go. We have the book. I'm just gonna try not to shake the camera too much and zoom all the way out. Raise the camera. I don't have my other camera anymore that works, so this is what I'm using, so I have to touch it with my hands instead of a remote, and it doesn't have a wide angle on it. So here's what we got. We have, read carefully, hey, children must not be allowed to suck any part. That is the same as Tabcom. Look at that. So this says 2018 Ryefield model, so it could be from last year. So we got our different assembly icons: optional, cement, do not cement, instant cement, bend, make to, open hole, remove, be careful, apply decal. So let us, and then one of my favorite things is the sprue map, and I know that kind of defeats the purpose of the reason I make the videos, to keep a reference of it, but I like to see what my sprues look like actually. So, but it is nice to have a sprue map so you can see everything, and they're actually labeled what is a SturmTiger and what is a Tiger 1. These look exactly like the sprues, and it appears they're actually numbered. Each individual part is actually numbered on the sprue map. So it's not just a picture of the sprue, it's the letter, how many you get, and each individual number is on the sprue. So, you know, if you need U36, you can see that it's located right there. So that's a good reference to have. The Photo-Etch isn't really numbered like that, but everything else seems to be. So 216 track pieces. That's insane. Okay, so we start off, and looks like we're doing the elevation for the gun, for the mortar. And now we're doing side panels that have racks for ammunition. So that's where we're at on this here so far. Okay, so these are the inner walls to the upper section. So you're not going to see any of those ejector pins on the inside of this hull. That's nice. So it has pieces that all go in there and all the details in there, so that's nice. So I had some issues with these kits not showing you parts to put in that are in there. So we'll see how that goes. So basically, yeah, so this is step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. and then it has you placing these on these sections. And you're going to make 2 of these sections, so each side's identical. You have this section. Oh man, that light is really glaring on this. Alright, sorry guys, I'm just gonna... Oh, that light is awful. Let's try this right here. Okay, so here is the individual shell construction. And it has the what kind of shell it is. So, you know, in case it doesn't blow up, people know what you shot at them. That's not true, but it's funny. So there we go. We got building of the mortar. And we have the ball mount machine gun. And we have over here placing all that into the upper section. I noticed that a lot, and these are nice right here. Gun cannot be movable, gun can be movable, and all these nice photo references to show you what stuff looks like. And then you have an opened and closed breech here, so you can do however you would like on that. And then even over on this lower hull section. Yeah, I'm still getting used to this camera, I'm sorry. Man, that light is just insane with the glare. I don't know, sorry, I can't do anything about that, I guess. Alright, and then we have, it shows you in here what the hull is supposed to look like with the Photo-Etch in. And then we have the individual radios going into the lower hull. Nice glossy pages on this and a lot of detail with the transmission going in. I'm just going to flip through this quicker. So here's your engine assembly, mostly using the U sprue. So most of the other sprues engine parts are going to be extra. Maybe you could build an extra engine, put it on the side. These parts going in, and then we have some parts, more parts going in. We have the rear with all the stuff. Here's a nice example of the Photo-Etch for the jack. What that's supposed to look like with the pins and all that is just, that's the kind of detail I think is awesome. I mean, that jack alone is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces for that jack. So that's a lot of detail. And then we have wheel assembly and the tools where you can do the tool clamps or, you know, use the parts that are there. And here's what it looks like with the actual tool clamps on there. The Photo-Etch ones. How nice that looks. Then we have the grills, the ammunition to where you can actually load it and unload it if you build it correctly. And then it has, looks like Photo-Etch strapping. And then here's what we have, another view there. Layout of the shells. And then we have optional the push shell handle. So you can have that in a position. And then we have the roof section, the clear parts, if you so choose to use them. And then the infamous tracks. It's basically, that's all the assembly instructions they give you for the tracks. And it looks like, yeah, you just have to remove the bad stuff, so 1 on one side, 2 on the other side. Then you have hatches that appear to work. That's nice. And then you have the making by yourself. That's nice. So you're on your own on this one. This is the shell loader, so you kind of have to work that out yourself, I guess. That's interesting. I guess that's for the cable length, to work the cable on it. And then we have our profiles. This is the one I have the stencils for. Doesn't give us any information on the year or anything. Then we have the plain Dunkelgelb, which I was originally going to do before the stencils. And then we have the other marking we saw. And then we have the layout for the colors for the interior, which is this light blue. It's a French blue. I haven't seen that before, and that looks pretty good. So, rusty track for the seats. That's interesting. And they are MIG colors. So, but that's going to do it for this Ryefield Models kit. It is RM5012. It is the SturmTiger RM61. It is a pretty cool little kit. You're going to get a lot of extra pieces. So if you're into extra pieces for other projects, like I said, you might be able to build a separate engine out of this. When I do my videos on the build, I will definitely attempt to do that. It doesn't seem as complicated as like their Tiger with the turret and all that stuff, but we'll see how it plays out. If you enjoyed this video, give me that like, hit that like button. I'd appreciate it. But if you didn't like it, hit the dislike button and leave in the comments below why you didn't like the video. You know, constructively. So I have a Patreon page where I do tool reviews. I post a tool review that's available to patrons only, and it's available for a week there with links, and then after that you can view it. So as if you so choose want to support me there, you can subscribe to the channel to help me out there. But other than that, that's all for today. For Crazy Gamer Models, I am the Crazy Gamer. Have a great day.